Good morning, gamers, and we finally fucking won. What did we finally fucking win at? Taking down the British Empire of first-person shooters. Yeah, the sun never sat on Call of Duty, but now it's fucking setting now. Look at this. 1.8 from Metacritic. 1.8. I don't think I've ever seen Call of Duty be rated that low in its entire lifetime. This game is probably so popular that you were in your mother's womb hearing about it, and by the time you're 6 years old, you're fucking playing it. And look at it, 1.8. And for the Battlefield fucking fans, where you better be jumping out your chair, running somewhere, hopping to someone else's car, and having them drive you all the way back here to sit down to keep on looking at this shit. Look at this. And what do I mean? Why did I say that? Because Battlefield 6 is at 6.8. Yeah, it's like you could argue, well, that's not that good of a Metacritic review either or score. But compared to 1.8, it fucking sure is. And then let's look at the Steam charts. Look at this. Only less than 500,000 people it peaked at. And it only has 74,000 people playing Black Ops 7 right now. And you're gonna say, oh well, most people don't play it on the Steam launch browser. We play on the EA, on the not the EA, on the BattleNet servers and console. Well, guess what? We can also say the same for Battlefield 6. Sheesh, look at that. 747,000 people it peaked at. Well, almost like a quarter of a million. And its concurrent player base, 221,000 people are playing it right now. And you could also make the same argument. Most people play Battlefield 6 on EA or on console. I mean, the stats show that Call of Duty is a dying fucking franchise. It has been for the past 6 years. It's probably been dying since Modern Warfare 2019. And that's the honest truth. And let's talk about it. Why may be some of the reasons of why Black Ops 7 is dying? Well, when the game is supposed to be within the same timeline of Black Ops 2, and if you need like a little summary of Black Ops 2, it's basically surrounded around the conspiracy theory of Project MK Ultra and you know Raul Menendez. Well, now in Black Ops 7, Raul Menendez comes back as a deepfake. That's kind of crazy to say. And then you're also no longer talking about Project MK Ultra. You're talking about a neurotoxin that somehow poisoned you with like 1,000 different kinds of psychedelics. And now you feel like, you know, you're no longer meeting God. You're meeting God in a different dimension. And what do I mean by that? Well, Raul Menendez is calling down fucking airstrike machetes. Airstrike machetes? Who thought about this? Huh? And not to talk about woods becoming a poison ivy, like, you know, plant, right? That also, you know, spreads neurotoxins for some reason. Everything is in your head. Yeah, you're schizo, but you're beyond schizo. You're fighting your own fucking demons at this point. And it's just, it's so much to explain that, like, we had like you get to the Call of Duty Black Ops 7 zombies and you're just like what's going on? I'm fighting a zombie bear now. Yeah, you're fighting Mother Nature. I mean, so you're either fighting Mother Nature or you're fighting demons. That's pretty much the plot. Okay? You want to talk about Battlefield 6? What's the plot? World War 3. You are taking down a organization that pretty much started World War 3. That's it. And yeah, you know, maybe our enemy, our main villain is not as interesting as Raul Menendez. Sure. But look, both campaigns are 4.5 hours long. And I'll tell you, Battlefield 6 is way more coherent and way better in all aspects. I mean, like Battlefield has gone back to its traditional on the ground military, operations. And Call of Duty has somehow stepped a bit further into the future, and we're no longer doing military operations. We're fucking superheroes. And, so trying to figure out what the hell is the snow talks with also deepfake Raul Menendez. Call of Duty literally was the king of first person shooters. Really. I mean, you know how many games came out that wanted to take down Call of Duty? Like Medal of Honor, uh, Battlefield, X Defiant recently. And you know where they all died at? They died in the hands of Call of Duty. Call of Duty has literally killed all of its competitors, besides Battlefield. And even then, for the Battlefield fanboys, such as myself, you really like to talk about, well, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, Bad Company 1, Bad Company 2, Battlefield 1. And we could even throw in some honorary mentions, which I don't particularly like, Battlefield 5, Battlefield 2042. But we have always sat in the shadows of Call of Duty. That was the honest truth. Call of Duty would always sell like 30 million copies. Always have like 500,000 people playing the game. It was a harsh reality. We thought that there was no point in making more first-person shooters to try to compete with Call of Duty because we would always lose. It was a losing battle, But like the British fucking Empire, you can't keep it up forever. Okay? You can't keep it up forever. And this is what Call of Duty is experiencing. They couldn't keep up. You made a copy and paste version of Black Ops 6, which also wasn't really well taken either. You tried to rebrand it, say it's different, say it's not the same, and then even use AI assets. Now, personally, I don't think there's really that big of a deal with AI assets. But I think it is a big of a deal when talking about a company that makes this much money, that they couldn't create their own AI their own assets. It sounds crazy to say. But AI takes a part role in a lot of things in the industries, in every industry, but not like this. You can't, when you make a bad game, the whole the snowball effect, the snowball that you throw down the mountain eventually just keeps on gathering more snow, and then it becomes no longer a snowball, it becomes a boulder. That's kind of what happened with Black Ops 7. Yeah, you made a trash product, and then everybody's gonna find everything to complain about it. And now look at you. You're sitting at 1.8 Metacritic score. And Battlefield 6 is sitting at almost a 7 Metacritic score. And I'll be honest, I think Battlefield 6's Metacritic score is a little bit more accurate in my opinion about Battlefield 6 than it but this is crazy. That's insane. So, if you want to play a game that's also pretty fast paced, pretty close quarter combat, go play Battlefield 6. Because I know that was the biggest complaint about Battlefield in general from every first person shooter who loves to play first person shooters, is that one, Battlefield matches take like 40 minutes. They literally 20 to 40 minutes. And the maps were too big, meaning that the amount of people you run into is quite low. Probably part of the reason why Hurt Locker was so popular. But Battlefield has decided to make the map smaller, and they have introduced more playlists that cater towards close quarter combat. Like Strike Point is a 4v4 elimination match. Never seen before in Battlefield. On top of that, if you hate Warzone, right, go play Battlefield RedSec, because the Battle Royale is also free. And if you hate the Battle Royale, your alternative is Gauntlet, which I say is even more fun and is even quicker than the Battle Royale. Plus, you get tons more XP, Everybody likes to level up. But this shithole of a fucking franchise that has been trying to do this kind of thing of I'm not gonna say scamming people, but not really being considerate of its community for the past 6 years is finally seeing the results of what happens, and I think it's well deserved. Activision needs to change the plot entirely. They need to either stop making Call of Duty, or they need to figure out how do we reinvent Call of Duty so that we don't have a fucking 1.8 Metacritic score. That's it. Thank y'all for listening to, I don't know, my fucking rant. And I'll see y'all in the next morning. Dale, love y'all.